Hey guys, this is Jaden coming at you from Team Shadow Strike. We are bringing you. When I say we, on speakerphone here with us today is fellow Team Shadow Strike member Cody. So he's here with us. He'll be giving his input on some of these too. I was having an idea, because I was asked the other day, in my opinion, what are the top 5 decks of the format as we sit here today. And I think it's June 1st, if I'm remembering the date right. If not, I'm sorry. But I figured we would do a top 5 here video here for you on the meta. So we're going to start at number 5. And number 5, since I've never played the deck personally, I'm going to let Cody kind of give you his idea of the deck. And in our opinion right now, because we just got finished discussing this, the number 5 deck right now in the meta has got to be the Oracle Think Tank Coco build. And Cody, why tell us why this deck is so consistent and why it wins so easily?
12 crit, draw 3 cards. That's always fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, people forget. There's some Oracle Think Tank players like myself who have my Moon deck built up with 4 draw triggers. Even though this guy Cody's been trying to get me to convert to 12 crits forever. But he is right, guys. I mean, the 12 critical triggers for this deck is insane. Wouldn't you say, out of all the Oracle Think Tank builds, do you think this is the best one?
Honestly, next to Goddess of the Sun, the Crossrider CEO, I do think Coco has to be one of the best.
What about Goddess of the Sun? Do you think when we see this out, do you think we'll see a fair share, at least in the American meta, of Sun builds, and will we see CEO decks come back?
Honestly, I don't really know, since we know all the people are pretty much a meta player. Like at regionals, when I went, most people were either playing the End or they were playing Majesty, so don't really know on that.
Yeah, I mean, I know. For me personally, I think the Sun is an amazing card. I at least I will be trying to pick up Suns because I like CEO as a card. But yeah, Coco. I mean, and after this video, feel free to put your comments in the section below and try and argue with us and tell you what if we're wrong, if we placed a deck too low, if we placed a deck too high. But please give us your feedback. We want to hear it. Okay, so number 5 we're saying is the Coco version of Oracle Think Tank. Mainly based off the fact that you draw like crazy, you can play the 12 criticals, and you can, it's a deck that just keeps on coming back and keeps replacing rear guards, and you have things like Silent Tom and Dark Cats to increase your hand, and then you have things that empty the soul, so Coco is always swinging for 13. It's just too good. Now, for 4th place, this is probably a little biased from me, myself, and me, my friend Cody, because we are both users of Gold Paladin. He is a Spectral Duke player, and I'm an Ezel player. And since we're saying these 2 card decks are tied for 4th, because we could not, I honestly don't know which one to give it to. Yeah, Spectral gets the extra 1,000, Ezel gets a big boost when he attacks. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you a reason why I think Ezel deserves this spot, and then Cody will talk to you a little bit about Spectral. The main reason that Ezel is so consistent, guys, is I keep in mind, like I've said in my past videos, Ezel does get the superior ride. That is a plus. Second, Ezel is always going to be attacking for over 20k easy because of his ability to gain 1,000 for everything in the soul. Plus his limit break, it's a very heavy style aggro deck, and this was the deck I used while I was waiting for Majesty to come into the meta. And it seems like every time I play this deck, I rip double criticals. This deck is crazy consistent. We all know with any Gold Paladin deck in general, when you do superior calls, you're going to hit perfect guards every now and then. You're going to hit critical triggers. You're going to hit heal triggers. It's going to happen. Unfortunately, that's part of the game. But you can't deny, in my opinion, that Ezel is a very, very consistent deck. And but more on Gold Paladin later. So Cody, tell us what makes Spectral Duke, in your opinion, a deck that honestly seems to have died out a little bit, but still deserves a spot in the top 5.
Okay, Spectral, I think he's really good because of the fact he's a ride chain, so it makes it like really consistent. I know Ezel gets a superior ride, which is always good, but I don't like the fact that you do give up technically 3 cards for a grade 3. That is good. It is free grade 3. But with Spectral, I really love his limit break. It is with Ezel, yes, he always does swing over 20. That's what I will give for him. But with Spectral, late game, when your opponent's running out of a hand, the fact that he can stand up, and if you drive check any crit, that can be very devastating. Because I was talking about you some time ago about I was going against Aaron. That tag team.
Yeah.
I attacked with Spectral. He was like, fine, no guard. Hit double crit. Okay. Back 3 stand. He guard for 1 the pass. I hit a crit.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking about this, guys. Gold Paladin is soon going, when the trial decks come out here in America, and we get the break ride, me and Cody are probably going to be the top 2 in our locals for pretty much ever, because at least until more support for other clans come out, because the only 3 break rides that will be out soon will be the Bermuda Triangle one, which there's only 1 Bermuda Triangle player at our locals, and then we'll have the Narukami one. There's only 2 Narukami players at our locals, and I'm one of them, and I do not use Narukami for competitive play. And 3, Gold Paladin. And the only 2 Gold Paladin players that, let me rephrase that, the only 2 Gold Paladin players at our locals that know how to play the clan correctly, you're hearing from right now. So, and he's going to be playing Spectral with the Break Ride. I'll be playing my Ezel deck with it. So, Gold Paladin is a very good deck to invest in. It is going to do nothing but continue to get better. So that's why we're saying at tied for 4th place in the meta, your 4th place best decks to play are your Ezel decks and your Spectral decks. Number 3, this deck has fallen down a bit in our opinion. The last time I did one of these videos, I said at that point I thought the End was the best deck. Now, I know I'm probably going to get a couple End players that are going to riddle my comment section saying I'm a moron, but in my opinion, and me and Cody had a discussion about this, the End has fallen a little bit. Now, when the break rides come out, that will be another story. He will get his rejuvenation. But the End, to me, I don't know. It seems to have lost a little bit of its pep. I'm not saying the deck isn't good. I mean, it's still one of the best decks to play. I mean, a cross ride that can restand is good. But, I mean, what about you, Cody? Why do you think this deck has maybe lost a little bit of its mojo? Do you think the popularity just died out, or do you think people just got tired of it and moved on to something else, or what is it?
I think people are starting to realize that even though the End is a good deck, there can be better options for people to play.
Yeah, I mean it's good, but there's just better options. So, enough said. Let's move on to number 2. The number 2 deck, in our opinion, right now is Majesty Lord Blaster. Now, Majesty, yes, we were just talking about this. It takes quite a bit of setup. It is a very, very setup conditional deck. You have to be able to get Blaster Blade and Blaster Dark in the Soul to have the best chance of winning. Because any Vanguard that can carry an extra critical plus an extra power boost on top of him at all times is nothing to mess with. The downside to this deck, like I just said, was it's a deck that requires time and setup, and you might take a lot of damage in the early game. But in my opinion, I would give it over the End now. Because at first I thought that the End might be better than Majesty. And honestly, I don't think that anymore because, yeah, the end gets to stand back up, but the downside to the end is that he has to hit. So, I mean, what about you, Cody? Do you have anything to say about Majesty?
Well, since I did play Majesty at regionals, I love the deck. The deck was amazing. And the person that I lost to for me getting into top 8 was a Majesty player, and yeah.
And
Majesty is an amazing deck. The deck has so many things it can do. Royal Paladin has a lot of support, like Palamedes and other stuff. I mean, like, the deck can do a lot of things. With, again, as you said, with a Vanguard with a permanent crit on him, I mean, it's just devastating how you can just go double Palamedes and full back row of Marins and have 21-21 and then 20 in the middle with a crit.
Yeah, I mean...
That can hurt.
Yeah, that can be excruciatingly hard to play against. And, you know, three 20k rows plus is nothing to shake a stick at. But anyway, guys, now it's time for the final deck, and this might cause some controversy. Some people may not believe us, but this is what our opinion is. And anyway, the number 1 deck in the meta right now goes to Aquaforce. Aquaforce is ever since Set 8 was released, guys, this deck has been so hyped because so many people wanted to play it. The deck did very well in Japan when it was very first released, and now over here it's doing amazing. I mean, Maelstrom, I don't know what else that I can say about Maelstrom. It is an amazing card. You know, I mean, Cody, can you kind of elaborate on this a bit?
Maelstrom?
Yeah, Maelstrom and just the deck in general.
That deck it can work at times. When it does,
yeah. I mean, guys, keep in mind, this deck can get off 4 attacks consistently. I'm not saying, you know, that some turns you may or may not. This deck gets off 4 attacks consistently with a Vanguard that swings for 26 every turn, and if he hits, you're going to be able to pop something on your opponent's field and draw. So you technically plus while minusing your opponent, and God forbid you hit a stand trigger with it and get a 5th attack. This is the deck that has won our locals by me personally for the last 2 weekends. I don't see any reason to change because this deck is crazy consistent right now. I love it to death, but, you know, that's why this deck deserves number 1 in my opinion. Sorry if you don't agree with it. Feel free to give us your top 5 decks in the comment list, and I will look at them and we'll figure out if maybe you can persuade us. We're open-minded people. We're willing to hear other people's opinions. So, just to overview one more time, the number 5 deck is the Coco version of Oracle Think Tank. The 4th place spot on this list is held by 2 decks, the Ezel versions and the Spectral versions of Gold Paladin. Number 3 is The End. Number 2 is Majesty Lord Blaster. And number 1, Aquaforce. We hope you enjoyed this video. This is actually the first time we've ever been able to do a video together. So, Cody, thanks for giving us your input. And we hope you enjoyed it. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Continue to get the word out about the channel. And we will see you guys later.